It's not working. Wrong one.
Happy birthday to us.
I was trying to get a song to play and it's then turned into a different one.
Hi. You're with Donna and Cheryl TV on our second birthday. So we're going to be keeping it real with you today, all about what we've learned in the last 2 years, celebrating the last 2 years, sharing the highs and the lows and all of our life lessons from going from corporate ladies to entrepreneurs. Welcome.
What a disappointment. I had Stevie Wonder lined up celebrating the birthday, and by the time I've gone back on there, it's moved to a different song, which it's just not relevant. Oh, I know. Like, this is all I've managed to do this morning is stick a balloon up and just ban it.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here, guys. I'm so glad you're here. I know, well, I couldn't put anything. I did think about having Neil and Caleb just holding the birthday banner, but no. Oh, thank you.
I was trying to look for some themed now is your time coloured balloons, but that's all I could find in the drawer. So,
well, I'm pleased I'm here. I nearly blew the house up. Caleb made us this, like, you know, on your Starbucks, he's like customized the Starbucks thing with these like little metallic. And I had my coffee and I popped it in the microwave. Turns out metal in a microwave, not such a good idea. There's like little burned holes in it and stuff now. So the house smells of burning. So I was like, oh, not good.
Sue Hanlon.
Hanlon in the house. In the house.
For the class. So yes, so today we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the last 2 years, some of our proudest moments, some of the what the moments, what we've learned about each other, because we've been best friends for many years. We've never worked together. And then we're going to be sharing with you just some of our tips and advice if you want to go forth and live the life of your dreams, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to be an entrepreneur.
No, anything you like. And we would love you, if you've got any funny memories or anything in particular about us that you like or dislike, feel free to slap it on. You get a day to tell the truth.
Yeah. Still, Hanlon, you're not allowed to take part, though.
Hanlon, we've got a restraining order on you still.
Yeah. Everyone else allowed to tell stories apart from Sue.
Apart from Sue, because she'd make everybody's hair go curly and you'd all spit your tea out. So yes, and we've got something for you at the end. So please stay tuned today. We are 2. So we've technically gone out of the terrible 2s and now we're into the, well, what are the 3s? I don't know what the 3s are. But I'm like so proud, I guess. You know, to set up a business is scary, but to set up a business when you're in your mid-40s, with everyone saying, are you mental? Have you lost the plot? Is this a midlifer? You know, who's going to pay the mortgage? And it was not everybody thought that this was the best idea. And I had lots of times when I thought we'd lost the plot and we're having a midlifer as well. Like it was a big change, wasn't it, from the life that we had of having very, very nice, comfy corporate salaries and pensions and bonuses and retention schemes and all the kind of stuff that came with it, wasn't it, Cheryl?
Absolutely. I think for me, I've got a few different proud moments. I think, well, just Donna and I, like when we were in corporate 15 years ago, actually said to each other, we will run a business one day and we will be making a difference in the world. And we kind of didn't know when, how, who, you know, what it was going to be. But I'm proud of us that we actually had that in the back of our heads and then had the, I'm in a swearing day today. Balls, yeah, to actually, and the courage and the bravery to not listen to the people who were saying, like, have you had a midlife crisis, and trusted our own instincts. And, you know, we always knew we were on the right path, and we knew that because we were making an impact in the world, that the universe would help us to co-create something. So we stayed, you know, there's been some up and down times, but we stayed on the course.
Yeah, we stayed with our North Star, didn't we? And this is why we're so passionate and helping the people in our community, our clients, to really work out what it is that's important for them. Because once you know what it is that you want to do, like that it was just like wanting to have Caleb. It was that same desire of wanting to do this was like quite overwhelming. Like I couldn't not do it. It was such a strong burning need to do this with Cheryl that I couldn't like imagine anything else. And in the first year, when we thought we might have to go back and do some corporate work and do some contracting and stuff, it was with a very heavy heart, isn't it? Would have those conversations of like, well, one of us would take it for the team. That's what we'd say. If I have to go back into work, one of us will take on for the team while the other one keeps the business going. But I think it got to the 12-month point where we just thought we have to stop having those thoughts and just burn our bridges and go for it. And that was when we invested in a bigger way in the business. We invested in more systems. We invested in getting a team. We invested in our coaching. You know, we like spend 4 times more on our coaching. That I think in year 2, we spent about 35,000 on our coaching. So it's just constantly like up leveling, and making it clear to the universe and to yourself and to your family and everybody around you, like, this is happening and it's non-negotiable. So you're either on it or you're not.
And, you know, we're very proud. We made 6 figures in our second year. Like, we're coming at the end of our second year and we're like quadrupled. We're on to quadruple the revenue, the turnover that we made in year 1, you know, so that's a proud moment. Another one for me has been being in LA and being on TV. On La La Land TV, but another one was when Owen, one of our friends, who's an author, he actually acknowledged Donna and I in one of his books. He's got like a trilogy of books, and he acknowledged us next to his family. So that was a really proud
after
moment.
His wife and son.
After
his wife and son, Owen gave us a mention. And he sent us the book and didn't think anything of it. And I opened the book and there was this acknowledgement, like on the second paragraph, and I was just in bits. Like, it was just this incredible moment, because he said like the book would never have happened without us. He said we helped unlock him. He'd been stuck before he met us. It was like something like that, like a book as a writer, if anybody's a writer out there, like a book is so personal. And the fact that we were in it under his wife and child, we were like, what? That's amazing. Like, it was such a proud moment. Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you guys for all these well wishes. Honestly, I'm screenshotting everything in the soul system today to keep it, because it just makes me feel good. Like, I love it. Thank you. And another one for us was when we always said we wanted to stand on stage and share our message with people so that they knew that anything that they wanted was okay and they could, you know, go for their dreams and live a better life, and all these inner thoughts and the demons that they had are normal and it's not them. Like, we all have them. They're not weirdos. So I think standing on stage, I think it was the Inspiring Females event, was one of the really big events that we did. And there was over 100 women in the room. And we had the Spice Girls on. We were dancing. People had been laughing and crying. And I think it was Erica had posted saying it's like the best breakout session ever. We had an hour with these women. And it was just phenomenal, wasn't it? Like, the energy in the room, just knowing that you could walk into a room and create that, like, gave me goosebumps. That people were messaging us saying, I've bought a journal on the way home. I've made a decision about this. I'm doing this. I'm going to look for this job. Like, really just taking that, I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it happen based on something we had said to them in a room. Like, just was phenomenal to me. Yeah, absolutely. And our retreats as well. So we've run a number of retreats locally at the Sundial, which is a fabulous pub. Just plugging it for Joanne when it opens on the beach. Amazing. And we've still got our next one to come, which is on hold because of COVID. But for those of you who bought a ticket, we will be having it. But they were great, because before we set the business up, before we set Now Is Your Time up, Donna and I, when we had our own separate business, had talked about doing a retreat. Like, that was one of the things before Now Is Your Time existed. We were like, oh, why don't we run some retreats in a local venue at the beach? Didn't we? This was before June, so. And one of the things that we really want to do, and if you're interested in it, we want to know, because we're going to book it like this. COVID is not getting the best of us. It was going to happen September, October, and it might be into the new year, but we're doing it is like a weekend retreat, because that's what we said, isn't it, Cheryl? We want to take a bunch of women away in a house and spend the whole weekend just working on themselves. And we are so doing that. We would have done it in September, but we're not, but that is happening. So if you want to be on that very first weekend retreat with us, you need to let us know, because it is going to be epic. It might be even like, you know, we're looking at locations. It could be combined with a spa break. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And it'll be fabulous. It'll be 5-star, put it that way, because we don't do anything less. So what's been some of our moments? oh God, like probably a few months in when we were going to go, it was Christmas and stuff. And we were like, how are we going to pay the mortgage in January? Because we didn't know, we hadn't planned to do this.
And it was my daughter Holly, it was her 21st, but can you remember? It was on the 14th of December. The tenant in Graham's flat decided that he was moving out.
Yeah.
It was Holly's 21st birthday in December.
Yeah.
And then would kind of burn out bridges with the money. So I didn't know how I was going to pay my mortgage come the January. That time wasn't.
And then Neil lost his job, didn't he? So then it was like Valentine's Day, and Neil's business, not his business, but the business he worked in, just closed the doors, went bust, didn't pay anybody any money. So it was like a bumpy few months, because I remember sitting at the kitchen table and saying to Cheryl, oh, I know we'll get through it, but really, like, why is this happening? Do you know what I mean? And your first instinct is not, why is this happening for me, when that happens, by the way. But it was like, and I remember going back to basics and going, okay, I need a sign that I'm on the right path. And then we had this influx of clients wanting to sign up with us. And that's those little signs, those little synchronicities, those gifts from God along the way, telling whether we were on the right path, and it was just testing our faith. All that did was cement our belief that what we were doing was what we were supposed to be doing, but it was batshit scary sometimes.
If you remember, I was sat in the kitchen at Donna's actually crying when I found out the tenant was moving out. Had no money to pay my bills in January. Christmas was coming up, and it was Holly's 21st, and I wanted to take her to Rockcliffe Hall, which I still did. And then I got home on the night, and there was a letter from Halifax, them PPI claims. I said I need £2,000. Came home. There was the postman had been, and there was a letter there, Halifax, there's 2,000 and something pounds for a claim. I rang her, I was like, you wouldn't believe it. I've just got in the house and £2,000 that I was needing.
Yeah. So, and I found some Vodafone share certificates that I totally forgot that I had. I went and did some random filing, and there was this envelope. I was like, oh, we do have some money.
Yeah, but it was on the up from there. But that was like the scare that time going into that like Christmas period. But then from the January, like you say, Neil lost his got made redundant. But then as the year continued on, it built and built and built. But some businesses, when they're in their first year, that's when they cave.
Yeah.
When times like that happen, that's when most, I used to work in like a retention team in business when I worked at Sage, and within like the first year, it's like 60% or something of businesses would go under, and you can understand why, but luckily we've got each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Howard from the Halifax. Absolutely. Yeah. We had each other, so there was always, we were never both having a low at the same time, which by the grace of God, again. And it's something like 60 to 95, depending on where you look at the stats, percent of businesses go to the wall in the first year to 2 years, which is so scary. And bearing in mind, we didn't get any funding, we didn't take out any loans, we didn't get any bank stuff, we didn't literally, we did this on our own, and everything that we've invested has been from the money that we've made. We've reinvested in better systems, more team, to make it feel like a business. And we love that we get to help people pay mortgages, and we love that we get to help people share, and do their things that they're brilliant at. We love that we've now got Cheryl's Holly on the team doing our social media. And it's like, for us, it was always about that family feel and creating something that was a legacy through not just the services that we provide, but the business itself. Like we, one day when we're gone, we would love Now Is Your Time still to be.
Yeah, we've got a brand. Caleb's already getting trained up reading mindset books, and he's only 7.
Caleb, Caleb, who knows who Bob Proctor is and knows who Tony Robbins is, and it's just hysterical.
What do you think about each other? Because obviously we've known each other for like 17 years, I think it is now, being best friends. But actually, I know we haven't seen each other every day, but then working together for like 2 years, more or less every day.
I don't think we've ever not spoken, have our text or something for a day, but it's. So, I mean, I was the one, so Cheryl, as you know, is the sunshine. So she's like, it's all going to be great. And I was the one saying, what if this ruins our friendship? What if, we go into business together and it doesn't work? Like, I would never, ever, all the money in the world could not replace Cheryl's friendship to me. And she was like, well, it won't happen. I was like, But if it ever did, or it wasn't working, because we work together, but working together and when someone else is paying the mortgage, work together when you're both paying the mortgage is different. You don't know what it's going to be like, do you? And I think what I've learned is just that I don't want to cry because it's, but like we've always called each other soul sisters, haven't we? But like now, like we know like the stuff we have been through, hell and back. And it's really funny because you spend so much time with your husbands and in work and stuff. But Cheryl and I can literally be together all day. And I'm like, but she just ignores me. But we don't actually ever have crosswords with each other. Like that's just, and we always seem to know what the other one needs and always seem to be able to give it. So for me, I think what I've learned is like our friendship was strong before, but it's like forged in iron now. It's like, it's unbreakable. Of all the things in my life that I'm sure about, our friendship is in the top 3.
Yeah.
Which I don't ever take for granted as well. Like I know every day how lucky I am to have that in someone on this planet.
And like we always laugh, don't you know, when people say, I'm looking for my soulmate, and my husband, like, you're my true soulmate, and me and Donna go to each other. Like, we'll love our husbands really, but like we both know that our husbands aren't our soulmates. We know that each other are our soulmates.
100%. I remember watching Carrie Bradshaw saying it to her girlfriends years ago, like we're each other's soulmates in Sex and the City. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. Thank you for joining, Jo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, and Mel's just saying, so inspiring with your stories of the hard times we're getting through. But the hard times is what makes it, like, I just think it's contract. You can't go into stuff, like whether it's a new business or marriages or parenthood and think it's all going to be like bunting around the door and white picket fences and stuff. Like there's going to be times, but I think where Cheryl and I are so incredibly lucky is that we complement each other very well.
Yeah.
Cheryl's very laid back and I'm really high maintenance, and it works. Like even just we went into this and we didn't know, like Cheryl is really good at systems and structure and I'm really good at none of that stuff. So, but you didn't even know that's what you were good at till we started.
I didn't know. So, I mean, I've obviously worked in L&D in the last corporate role and always done leadership and coaching, and I'd always written, this is the funny thing, I'd always written the programs and delivered the programs and stuff like that. But when we started, Donna then became the writer. So Donna is the one who creates the content, all of the content, and I can put it into a structure. So if we have an idea, don't we, like for a retreat, you write all the material and then I'll structure the day. But like I didn't know that I was really good at systems until we sat around the kitchen table, weren't in a place to hire teams who were the experts. We had to fathom it all ourselves, and I just somehow knew how to. Yeah, I just somehow knew how to do it.
Like it's weird.
I didn't know that I knew until I tried.
It's so weird. And I love that you all, like, obviously are really strongly disagreeing with me being high maintenance. Just a little bit. I mean, Neil obviously disagrees too. Yeah. And, someone just saying, it was Yvette, like, it's good to hear that the fear is normal. Like, if you haven't got fear, you're not going big enough. Yeah. It's that simple. Like if you haven't got fear, if it isn't giving you shit pains on a daily basis, you are not stretching yourself. Okay. And the one thing I do know about myself is I will always push myself to be the best at something, like the best for me, not competing against anybody else. Like Cheryl and I didn't set out to be mediocre or middle of the road. Like we want to be world leaders in coaching transformation. Like that's our mission. And it scares me saying it to you in case, hi, Storm. I met Storm in San Diego and we're training with Richard. How cool is this?
Hi.
But it's like, go big or go home. Like, don't set out just to be vanilla. Like, screw that. Like, you are unique. You are gifted. You have got all of these ideas and whispers for a reason. The only person that you'd ever let down is yourself if you don't try to live up to that, to the best that you can be. Screw anybody else. It doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely. And, like if somebody else can do something, then so can you, because none of us are superhuman. None of us have superhuman talents. Like whatever it is that you want to do, and we've always been very clear, we want to be, world leaders. Then that's what we've aimed for every single day. So, but I would love to know if you've got any questions for us. So we can just ramble on for another 10 minutes. But have you got any questions that you would like to ask us? Like about anything, about setting the business up? Because like when we left corporate and became entrepreneurs, like we'd never done it before. We'd never set a business up. We didn't have a clue what we were doing, did we?
No, I was really good at managing other people's money. Give me a £10 million P&L, I'm good. But, you know, like I had no idea how to budget or anything like that for an actual business of our own. I had a basic idea. And one thing I was not proud of was finding other people that were really good at what we did and asking them what they do. like if somebody is out there doing it, go and ask them. Ask them what it is that they're doing. Because actually they're usually quite flattered by that. And if they're not, then fine. But generally speaking, people were just so overwhelmingly kind and would give us time and information. It was just wonderful. Jo, what have been your pillars of your business development, would you say? Well, we didn't have any in the first year. It was just like coach, just go and coach. And we did plan to do group programs too early and didn't realize that you had to have an audience for them. So when we started working with Nick, we got much more structured. And the pillars were around nail it and scale it, as Nick says, weren't they really? Business development was around finding, attracting, creating one-on-one clients, and then fanning that out to groups, and then online products and membership, which I've got something to share with you today. But the pillar for us was really on business development was do one thing well and then move on to the next, and all the while make sure that you're creating a community who you would walk over hot coals for. And that's what we try to do. And like this is why we literally love you guys, because we understand that through law of attraction, we are standing our truth and talking about what's important to us, and we just trust that then we're bringing into our space people who feel the same. And we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and we're totally okay with that. But that's been a real big part of what we do. We want to attract people. We're not into selling anything to anybody that doesn't want it. We want to attract people who want to work with us. And we have this mantra, don't we, Cheryl, that like if people are not all in to work with us, then the answer is no from us, because you've got to want to really do the work and be the best version of you for it to work.
And I think just to add on to that and then answer Yvette's question about the one thing you've done differently if you start over again, like for the first year, we invested in ourselves and in online programs, which was great because they literally taught you, like from a concept. That's how Nourish Time was born, to getting set up online. But we were trying to do everything. So we wanted a suite of online products that people can have. We wanted to have a group program, wanted to have one-on-ones, wanted to write a book, wanted to literally we launched a podcast, we built the website, we launched the soul system. We're trying to like go get big numbers on all the platforms. So we did the online programs, which were great, but then we were a bit all over the place for a few months until we then invested with Nick. And Nick we were like, want to do all of this? And she was just like, no.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't have done that.
She did. She literally went, yeah, no.
If we hadn't done that, we might not be in the successful place that we are now. So maybe.
So when we hired a coach who was a specialist in our field, we 4x'd our revenue. So don't sit and try and work it out and think you know better. The online programs are great to get you started in something. Once you're clear on what you want to do, invest in that area and make sure that you're investing in your mindset and make sure that you're investing in the right things. So make sure you're going to someone who is a credible authority in that, and people will give you proof of that. Yeah.
So Yvette, you know us too. We're not ones for saying we've got regrets, because the journey was the journey, because that's how it was meant to go. However, one thing is, don't be all over the shop trying to do everything all at once. Like get a mentor, get a coach, get somebody who can give you some guidance to make it easier for yourself. Like don't make it too difficult.
Yes, like we say all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember this from my corporate days, to be fair. It was do one thing and do it really well and be known for that, rather than trying to do everything for everybody and probably dropping lots of plates and smashing lots of things on the way.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, Max, go big or go home. And happy solar return to you too, Storm. I hope you're doing great. We'll have to catch up soon. And I think, and like we don't do regrets, but I do say this to people. You know, Cheryl and I did this it's not a whim. It wasn't a whim because it was a very deep yearning for me to do this. And I'd had it for a long time. And because I'd had a conversation, it was let out of the bag and I couldn't put it back in. But if I had, you know, a lot of you are sitting there and you actually know what it is that you'd love to do, and you can be doing that whilst you're earning money. Like, we burnt our bridges, that was our choice. It's not the way that I'd recommend for everybody because it puts a lot of strain on you. Cheryl and I are very lucky because we had each other. You know what I mean? And we were very lucky in that we had husbands who were very supportive. So, but that wasn't.
It puts strain on the family.
A huge, like, do you think I was fun for 6 months sitting in a kitchen when we weren't actually actively attracting clients? We were getting clients through referrals at that point, but, you know, we didn't have sales pages or websites, or we were like we wanted to build all the systems so that it was like a proper business when people were coming into it. And that was really scary because you were constantly thinking, I was used to earning like a lot of money, then all of a sudden there's no money coming in. Like, it's not the nicest feeling in the world. And yes, we have this really strong faith, but that puts pressure on you and on your relationships, because the last thing you want to do is be getting business because you have to have business. You want to have the right business. So always try and put yourself, I'm not saying you're going to have hundreds of thousands in the bank, but to have a strategy where you think, right, well, I've got 12 months, and if I cut back on this, and I'm realistic. And Cheryl and I only took the absolute basics out of the business for the first 12 months. And, you know, you just give yourself breathing space so that you can enjoy the process rather than having to make money.
Yeah, definitely. So are we going to tell them what we've got?
Yes. So if any of you saw an email from us this morning, if you didn't and you want to make sure that you're getting our emails, let us know, because we always share stuff with our community first and in the soul system. So before we do that, Ali's just saying, I found soul ownership really difficult. Having someone to bounce off and lean on should not be underestimated. Honestly, it's massive. It really is. And I can understand. And I think having a bad partnership is worse, but we were really lucky that we've got such a good partnership. But find a mentor, a coach, because again, for a lot of our clients own their own businesses. So as their coaches, that's almost like the kind of role that we fulfill because they haven't got a business partner. Anyway, so one of the things that, like we just said, we focused really heavily on doing one-to-one. Then we focused on launching our group program, which has just been one of the most beautiful experiences of our life. And when it was time, we knew it would be the right time to put that online. And that's what we've been able to do. So as of this morning, it is now live, and we're going to drop the link in here. We have got The Real You, which is our flagship program. And I meant to bring, I'll have to send out a photo to the email community. I've still got the original piece of paper that Cheryl and I actually wrote this down on 2 years ago at the kitchen table. But The Real You is our flagship. The methodology that underpins our coaching is the 5 steps to success, which takes you through really going deep, uncovering all of the different layers of your limiting beliefs and building onto that new habits, new thought patterns, new processes, and rewiring you for success so that you're living as your authentic self. Because when you are unstoppable. So now we've condensed that down into an online 12-week program, which you get access to for life, and also a Facebook community, which you get access to for life for less than £1,000. And if you invest in it, because we'll want you to invest in it, because not everybody can invest in the big group programs. Not everybody wants to be coached in front of a group. But we started by doing online programs, and they got us to where we are today. Because if we hadn't done them, we wouldn't have had the structure. We wouldn't have even had this blueprint. So if that's what you feel like you'd love to do, to work with us, you've not been able to do it so far, please invest in yourself through the program, because it's yours for life. And the amazing thing with it is, if you invest before close of play Sunday, about 10 p.m. Sunday, you also get a live Zoom call with me and Cheryl, a live coaching call as a group on Thursday night at 9 o'clock next week. We've also thrown in a top 10 strategies masterclass for kicking your imposter syndrome in the crotch with its own workbook. And we've also thrown in the self-confidence masterclass as well. So there's £1,000 worth of bonuses in there, and it costs $995. And you can pay on 3 months in 3 installments. So we're going to put the link in here for you. Yeah. Leah's already signed up. Leah bit my hand off when I mentioned it to her last week. So and you can sign up now. You get all your bonuses, and then you get access to it on Monday when it's actually open. But until now, it's on pre-sale, which is why we're giving you the bonuses for the next 3 days. Make the most of it. So
exciting.
I am so excited. This means that there's something, because our one-on-one clients pay 10,000, companies pay more sometimes, and there's something at all ranges now. And that was really important for us because we want anybody who wants our coaching to have it accessible to them. So please, please, please check out the page. If you've got any questions, give us a shout. But this is our second birthday gift to you.
But we are so happy and blessed and grateful that you have taken time to join us today to help us celebrate our birthday, and that you, like, we wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for you. Because the business is only as strong as its client and its community. So the reason the group program and the soul system and our community is so beautiful is because it's full of beautiful people, and that's because you're part of it. So you've given us loads of great comments about the impact we've made on your lives, but we feel right back at you, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be sat here today. So thank you.
Every single day. Thank you for being our movement. And we just need you to keep going out into the world and being these shining examples of what taking your mindset seriously can do for you, and how you can change your life by changing your thoughts. That's the message. So please keep being fabulous, and thank you so much for all of your support. We love you deeply, profoundly, and we're so, so grateful every single day.
Have a lovely day. I can't tune out with Stevie Wonder. I've basically messed the music up. But
happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. I was going to sing this without me range. Right, love you all. Bye, guys.